Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us this morning. Welcome to a conversation with Tim Hague. My name is Jordan, and I work in client services with Parkinson Association of Alberta, and I will be the moderator for this webinar today. If you have any questions during the webinar, please submit them in the chat box below. At the bottom of your screen, there's a little chat blurb. You can click on that, and a chat will appear on the right-hand side. You can send your questions out to the whole group or just to the panelists and moderators. As a disclaimer, this webinar will be recorded. All information provided in the videos by Parkinson Association and the featured speaker is furnished strictly for educational and entertainment purposes only. This service is not intended to be diagnostic, prescriptive, or replace the relationship, advice, and/or care of your physician. General questions about symptoms, treatments, available medications, complementary and alternative healthcare therapies, and current research will be fielded. Tim Hague is a public speaker, educator, and advocate for people living with Parkinson's disease. Tim was diagnosed with young onset Parkinson at 46, and 3 years following his diagnosis, he participated and won the Amazing Race Canada. Since then, he has been an advocate for PD and continues to use his spotlight to educate and raise awareness towards finding a cure and helping those living with PD. Tim has partnered with various organizations to encourage physical activity for those living with the disease. Tim is the executive director and founder of UTurn Parkinson's, which is a wellness center in Winnipeg for those with Parkinson's disease. Tim is one of the co-founders of the PD Avengers, a global alliance dedicated to advocacy for the Parkinson community with the common goal of ending Parkinson's. I will turn the chat over to you now, Tim.
Thank you. Good morning. Thank you for having me this morning. It's a pleasure to be here, and good to be in Calgary with you, or Edmonton, or wherever else you find yourself in Alberta today. Greetings from Winnipeg. And because everybody's always dying to know what the weather's like in Winnipeg, I'll tell you that it's sunny and bright blue sky and -2 at the moment, with a high of +6 today. And I always just like to say of Winnipeg, I know all the perceptions, all the things that get said about Winnipeg, and I just like to say only the strong live in Winnipeg. Everybody else moves to BC. That's my standing joke. But yes, my name is Tim Hague. I am the founder and executive director of UTurn Parkinson's, a wellness center here in Winnipeg that we started some 5.5 years ago now, and quite pleased with the progress that we're making there. I'm a retired nurse. I nursed for some 21 years. I am a professional speaker, as Jordan mentioned. I do some bit of traveling and whatnot. I'm an author. I've written the book Perseverance, the 7 skills you need to survive, thrive, and accomplish more than you ever thought you ever imagined. I'm also the winner of season number 1 of the Amazing Race Canada. I was diagnosed with PD in 2011 at the age of 46, and I am a PD Avenger. And like she said, the PD Avengers are a global alliance of people with Parkinson's, our partners and friends standing together, demanding change in how this disease is seen and treated. And if you'd like to learn more about the PD Avengers, and I would encourage you to, go check us out at pdavengers.org and join us today. We'd love to have your voice and your superpowers to join us in helping to end PD. Well, this morning I thought I would share a little bit from a blog that I wrote recently, having passed my 10th anniversary with Parkinson's, about some of the lessons that I've learned along the way. So I'd like to share with you a little bit of an excerpt from that blog. The number one lesson I've learned over the past 10 years is this: it's all about me. Contrary to what Mom taught us, I believe this conversation is indeed all about me. It's not about the next cure. It's about me. It's not about the next breakthrough. It's about me. It's not about the next great scientific marvel. It is indeed about me. Now, I realize this may sound like a bit of an odd way to start a discussion like this, but I think that you will come to see my point. And in the end, you will agree with me that it really is all about me. There are a few things that we control when it comes to Parkinson's. We can't control the fact that we have the disease. We can't just shake it off and get rid of it anytime we please. However, once we move beyond the acceptance of this reality and we discover that we do have control over the next and most important aspect of the disease, and that is we do have control over how we choose to live with it. And this comes down to our attitudes. My movement disorder specialist played a critical role in shaping my attitude right from the outset. He said to me, "Tim, you're doing as well as you are today because of how you've looked after yourself all these years. He followed that up with the statement, if there was one thing I could do for all my patients, I would turn them into athletes. Having come into his office with the fear that I would have to stop exercising, I was thrilled to hear him tell me to continue what I was doing and, if possible, do more. These words motivated me and ultimately led me to the conclusion that our pursuit of wellness is indeed the cornerstone in our quest to end Parkinson's disease. For you see, without a healthy community, there will be far too few to take part in research studies, to advocate, to raise funds, and to give leadership. Now, I know that some of you are smiling, even smirking. I can imagine your eye rolls and even hear your thoughts. What, me, an athlete? Well, yes, you, an athlete. What is an athlete? Google the word and you will get a broad range of definitions that encompass this thought. Someone who has been trained to compete, generally in sports. Daily, you and I are in competition with Parkinson's. Will it let me walk today? Stand, write, type, think clearly, and on and on. We daily make decisions on how much we can push back, how much pain can I take, what will PD get today, what will I take back. Like an athlete, we surround ourselves with coaches, trainers, counselors, nutritionists, physicians, a broad team of specialists whose only goal is to get us across the finish line as champions. We set goals, we refine plans, we adjust routines, we adapt, we change, but we remain laser focused on the ultimate goal. We learn to do things we've never done before, like sports. Many of my fellow athletes at UTurn Parkinson's never exercised a day prior to being diagnosed. Now they have made the mantra, exercise is medicine, part of their DNA, and daily they prove their athleticism. They have changed who they are so that they might become who they want to be. To be clear, our pursuit is not purely in the physical realm. Like any world-class athlete, we control what makes it onto our daily calendars. We are continually learning and improving our knowledge of our competition and our game. We ensure that we surround ourselves with a community of family and friends who support us, and we give special care to our emotional and spiritual well-being. In short, we continually train ourselves for the daily competition we wage with PD. We are indeed athletes, and Parkinson's is our World Series. It's our Stanley Cup, our World Cup, our Super Bowl, and the trophy we are competing for is our very lives. As athletes in this context, we have the added bonus that not only is doping legal, it's encouraged. Now, to be a world-class athlete, one necessarily needs to be fairly narcissistic, self-centered, and inwardly focused. You have to look after your needs as an athlete if you ever hope to make a podium finish. As an athlete, we have committed to eating well and not just whatever we want. We've committed to responsible drinking, to controlling our calendars, and training when we should, not just when we feel like it. As athletes, we have committed ourselves to goals, ideals, and a first place spot on a podium that will not be accomplished otherwise. Lest our analogy wane, let's consider what our real life goals, ideals, and podiums look like. What are some of the things that you want to accomplish in life, despite having Parkinson's? Well, some of those things are to retain relationships with our spouses, our children, and our friends. We don't want Parkinson's to take these relationships away from us. We stay in the workforce as long as possible. I always dreamt of Freedom 55, the old commercials that would be on TV, with the insurance companies and promising you to live this glorious life if you retire early. I don't think that way anymore. Having had Freedom 51, I can tell you that it's not all it's cracked up to be. I encourage people to stay in their jobs as long as reasonably possible, to find the accommodations to make it work so that you continue to do the work that you have trained for, that you have spent your life building. I'm incredibly busy outside of my job as a nurse that I have now been retired from for 5 years, but there is something about your job, that thing that you trained for. And I think it's especially when it's taken away from us that you miss. And I miss my colleagues. I miss the work that I would do. And I encourage people now heartily to stay in your jobs as long as you can. We want to live in our own homes for as long as we can. We want to maintain self-care as much as possible. We want to reduce dependence on medication, and we want to continue travel. I mean, the travel is a big one for my wife and I. We started traveling some years ago now already, but we continue to plan towards traveling once COVID allows us, because we're not going to be able to do it. Highly unlikely going to be able to do it when I'm 70, 75. May not be able to do it when I'm 65. So I can do it at 56. So we're making plans, and we're going now while we can. So these are just a few of the real life goals that we are training for. We long to be champions in the eyes of those we love. We long to hold the #1 spot in the hearts of those who love us. This requires a dedicated pursuit of wellness. So you've never thought of yourself in these terms, have you? Where do we go from here? What do we do now? Well, in its most simplistic form, Nike had it right. Just do it. Okay, I'm sensing the stunned, dazed, and glazed over eyes. I can feel you. I can see that you're thinking he's serious. He wants me to be an athlete. Well, first of all, just breathe. You're right, but you're not alone in this, and you can do it. This is possible. While I'm concerned that some of you are terrified into inaction, I'm also concerned that we have been told this so many times and for so long that many have slipped into a catatonic stupor. You just don't know where to move with this. We've heard the statistics. We've sat through research seminars and heard words like alpha-synuclein. We've heard about mitochondria. We've learned about the substantia nigra. We've seen the brain sliced and diced in ways previously unimagined. We have been exposed to things since being diagnosed that high school biology class never even remotely prepared us for. And then someone will throw in the statement, and oh, you should be active. You should probably be doing some exercise. It's been proven to be the second most effective way of mitigating your symptoms and slowing, if not outright stopping, the disease. So yeah, you should probably be active. What? What did we just say? It is the second most effective thing that we have in mitigating our disease and possibly stopping it, slowing it. We've got our levodopa, and then we have exercise. And that's where we stand today. Those are our two gold standards that we know work well for everyone. And when I say we know it, science has proven it, that we feel better, we function better, we sleep better, everything works better when we're exercising. We know this for a fact, but often this is tagged on to so many conversations as an add-on, as an afterthought. You go to a conference and, oh yeah, I guess we should get everybody up from the table and let them move around a little bit. So let's throw in a movement break. And then we don't really talk about how to get active exercising beyond that. So here's my point. I don't want to tell you to go be active. I want to say to you, come with me, come with us, and we will help you change your life. We will help you in your pursuit of wellness. We will help you become a PD athlete. That's how important it is to us. At UTurn Parkinson's, we take a different approach. We just do it. We don't just talk about it. We don't just encourage you to do it. We go do it and encourage you to come with us. So what is it we're doing? What are we encouraging you to do? What is this pursuit of wellness? Wellness is not just one particular thing, and it's not all the gobbledygook that you sometimes see out there in the media and online. It's so much more than me running the Amazing Race Canada. It's more than just physical exercise. The definition that I like best is this: an active process through which we lead healthy lives in both body and mind. An active process through which we lead healthy lives in both body and mind. You immediately see that it's more than just physical exercise and that it is an all-encompassing process. Taken from the National Wellness Institute, there are 6 areas of wellness that we focus on. And you will notice as we go through them that they spell the word poise. Now it has an extra S in it here, but it spells the word poise to remember. And that first is physical, the care and challenging of our physical bodies, that willingness to get out, exercise, and to push our bodies. And people often ask, well, what does that look like? What should I be doing? Well, the gold standard, what we know works best, is that 150 minutes a week, 30 minutes a day of moderate to intense exercise. What's moderate to intense? Your heart rate is up, you're sweating a bit, you're breathing harder, you're making your body work. And everyone will be different in what it takes to make those things happen. So not everyone needs to be training for marathons. Not everybody needs to be doing, an amazing race. Not everyone needs to be doing whatever. We need to find the thing that we enjoy and do that, and do it at a level that will cause us to breathe heavy, to sweat a little bit, to get some exercise in, and to solid exercise in, and push our bodies, because we know that is the level that mitigates our symptoms, that will make you feel better, that will help you walk better and see all those positives that we talk about. And I've had lots of people come to me and say, you know what, Tim, I exercise and I feel worse some days afterwards. That's often the case. And I'm sorry to say that this will be difficult for most of us, but in the long term, you work it out, you take time, you build slowly, you will see positive gains, and it will get easier. I have to be very careful with my shoulders, because my shoulders just bother me so much from my Parkinson's and some arthritis. I have to be careful with what I do with them, because if I'm not, I will pay dearly with them. So much so that I'll lose the ability to raise this left arm. Today it's a little touchy, but it's working. So yeah, everyone's different. Everyone has to start in their own personal space and place, and figure it out as you go forward. But there's a way to do that, and I will get to that. So the science is clear on this, that it will help mitigate our symptoms. It will look different for each one of us. And what we use here at UTurn Parkinson's as our guide is the Parkinson's Foundation exercise guidelines that help us understand what we need to be doing in terms of cardiovascular exercise, all the different pieces of making a good exercise program. So that's the physical. And we'll come back to this a bit later as well. That's the physical. Occupational seems like an odd word for this conversation, but what we mean by occupational is, what do we do with our days? How do we fill our days? What do we do with our time? Are we healthy in managing our time? Are we doing the things that we want to do? Are we busy with other things that push out all the things that feed us and give us the good things that we need in life? We need to manage our calendars. Intellectual is the challenging of our minds. I'm attempting to learn some Spanish. Not going well. Me and Duolingo, but I'm working on it. And it is truly a challenge for the mind. But the World Parkinsons Congress is coming up in July of 2023. I'm planning on attending that. It's in Barcelona, Spain. So I would like to have a little bit of conversational French down by then. At the rate we're going, I'm not sure I'll even be able to speak English, but well, we're still working on it. So we'll see, but it's good to challenge the mind in some way like that. Social, friends, family, support groups, running clubs, workout buddies, all the different ways that we can find of staying socially engaged. And COVID has proven this to be so desperately important. We have seen folks come back to classes, to our programming, that have just really, I would dare use the word, suffered through COVID. The loneliness, the being pushed away from family, not being able to get out and see friends, not having their contacts and colleagues that they're used to being around. And people have really had a tough time with this. So I encourage you to get involved either online or in person, and get to know people that you can share your story with, your time with, that can support you and encourage you with where you're at in life. I do a little thing called Coffee with Tim every Friday morning at 10 o'clock Central Time. Between 10 and 11 Central Time, to be honest. I don't always hit exactly 10 o'clock, but it's a conversation about Parkinson's and life. And it's just meant to be a time of encouragement and a time to say, you can do this, to give you a little bit of hope and encouragement for your week, and to help you keep moving forward. Feel free to tune into that. Or if you know of things locally that you can get involved in, get involved through Parkinson's Canada, through Parkinson's Alberta. They've got lots of programming there that is positive and helpful. And they're good folks who have lots of good things going for you. Then, of course, the spiritual aspect of caring for our wellness, answering the big questions of life. Who am I? Why am I here? Why did I get PD? Why did this happen to me? Why did God let this come into my life? And finding the ways to answer all of those big metaphysical questions, if you will. And then, of course, emotional, caring for our mental health, caring for our emotional state and the things that may need professional help. One of the best things that I ever did in life was to hire my first psychologist. He was a huge help to me back in the day, and I haven't seen him for a while, but it was one of the best things that I did to help me get through a rough time in life. And I never thought I would be that guy. I never thought I'd be the guy sitting on a couch spilling my guts to a psychologist, and yet that's where I found myself. And I have to tell you that it was one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. So physical, occupational, intellectual, spiritual, social, and emotional. With an extra S in there, it spells poise. And if you don't remember what poise means, it means to be balanced. And a synonym for poised is control. And isn't that what we're looking for? Isn't that exactly what we're looking for? Some balance to our lives that so often seem out of balance. Some sense of control in a world that feels so very out of control. Are we not looking for some equilibrium? Some measure of control over our shaky lives. The pursuit of wellness offers you this opportunity. Pursuing wellness can bring a level of poise and control of equilibrium to your world, but you have to be willing to pursue it. Do you want to find success within Parkinson's? Do you want to live well with this disease? Then commit to becoming a PD athlete. Commit to the pursuit of wellness. Allow UTurn Parkinson's to empower you in your pursuit of wellness. It's not only the best thing that you can do for yourself, but it's the best you can do for your community. It is the way that you can live your best and see great things still happen in your life by choosing to pursue wellness. So how do you become a PD athlete? What do you do? What's the steps? I've convinced you now. I can see it. You're all ready to become a PD athlete, but you're not quite sure where to begin. This is what you do. You go to your browser and you type in the words UTurn Parkinsons.org, or for shorter version is UTurnPD.org. So we're U-turning. We're going to make a turn here. And why do we say U-turn? Well, the name U-turn came out of the Amazing Race Canada when I ran that back with my son. And within the Amazing Race Canada, you have the opportunity, every team has the opportunity to, at one time or another, to U-turn another team. And the goal of that, the fact of that is what you do. If you U-turn another team, you make them go back and perform another task that nobody else has to do. And the goal of that is to either slow that team down and or eliminate them from the race, right? Well, we did that. We actually eliminated Body Break, Hal Johnson and Joanne McLeod, in leg 4 of our season in Regina. We made them go back and do a really tough challenge, and it ended up eliminating them from the race. And they were a strong competitive team. Well, this is exactly what we want to do in life. We want to slow Parkinson's down and ultimately eliminate it from life. Thus the U-turn. And so in that, we bring you, excuse me, we bring you empower you, excuse me. We bring you online classes called Empower You that are offered free of charge to anyone, anywhere who would like to access them. We meet every week up Friday at 10 o'clock Central. Coach Danielle leads exercise group there that hits all levels, whether you're seated, whether you're standing and going full on hard. We can help you begin your exercise program that will put you on track to living well with Parkinson's and living your best. So I would encourage you to tune in. That's 9 o'clock Mountain Time, 10 o'clock Central Time, 11 o'clock Eastern, and check out Empower You. Again, all of our classes, all of our programming is free. All you have to do is go to our website, uturnparkinsons.org. Up in the, well, you know what? I'm going to share my screen with you real quick here, and I'll just show you. Since we have the technology, go to UTurn Parkinsons. Here we are. Classes. And it's not going to drop down for me because our technology probably doesn't want to talk to us somehow, but there'll be an empower. Oh, there it is. There we go. Empower you. And it takes us to empower you. And you simply join our community. And through that, we can get you registered and signed up to join us every Friday morning at 9 o'clock Mountain Time and help you on your road to becoming a PD athlete. And again, everybody works out at their own pace, their own level. And Coach Danielle is absolutely fantastic coach. And there we go. Let me just get back here. All right. You can also check out our on-demand suite of videos that are available to you 24/7 via our website. They're just under Empower You is our on-demand suite. Coach Jordana and Coach Jordan provide us ongoing 20-minute videos that are there 24/7 for you to access. So anytime you feel like you need a stretch, a good hard workout, a seated exercise that you can do, there's a whole vast range of videos there professionally done to help that are tailored to people with Parkinson's to help you live your best. I would encourage you to tune in there and check those out. And again, just to say that everything is free of charge. And that we simply make them available to the Parkinson's community as we are able to. So it's all about me. It's all about becoming a PD athlete, which reminds me of the airplane safety speech. I've done lots of traveling in my time, and when I'm on this topic, I'm often harken back to this story of that little speech on every plane ride that I've ever taken, just prior to takeoff, where we're told in no uncertain terms that we are to be self-centered, narcissistic, and wholly inwardly focused. We are told that in the event of loss of pressure in the cabin, that oxygen masks will fall from the panels above. We are then told to ensure that we put our mask on first, before helping that cute little helpless kid next to me. Well, why am I asked to do this? Well, the fact is, if I pass out from lack of oxygen, I'm absolutely no use to anyone, and likely a greater burden to that, especially to that little kid now trapped beside me. Do you see my point? Do you understand? Do you see why this journey has to be all about me? Without the pursuit of wellness, without a commitment to becoming a PD athlete, Parkinson's likely wins. Without a healthy me, there is really nothing else. Without a healthy me, there is no advocacy work. Without a healthy me, there is no research trials. Without a healthy me, there really isn't much reason to care if treatments or a cure are ever found. For a PD cure will not fix a body that has been abandoned and uncared for. What value is it if I wake up cured of PD only to find that it has already destroyed my relationships with my spouse and children? We must choose to fight for our wellness today if we are ever to meet the challenge of finding a cure and reaping its rewards tomorrow. To be crystal clear, when I say it's all about me, I really mean we. And when I say we, I really mean us. And when I say us, I really mean you. If you don't make this all about you, we will not succeed in ending Parkinson's. We each have superpowers that we bring to the table, skills and abilities that are needed in conquering this disease. If you do not take care of yourself, we will at best be severely limited in our response and possibly outright unsuccessful. We are each needed in meeting the needs of our community so that we can together U-turn Parkinson's. So now, will you stop with me for just a moment and will you say it with me? Ready? Say it together. It really is all about me. Okay, I didn't hear a thing there. Did you? I think there's a number that aren't convinced yet. Okay, one more time. Say it with me. Ready? All together. It really is all about me. My name is Tim Hague Sr. Come with me. Become a PD athlete. Pursue wellness. Allow UTurn Parkinson's to help you live your best. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to come and share a bit of my story with you and UTurn Parkinson's. And I'll come back to Jordan now and ask if there's any questions that I can answer. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Tim. That was absolutely amazing. We did have a couple of questions. Where can people watch Coffee with Tim, either real time or after the fact?
Yes, thank you. I didn't mention that, did I? I am on Facebook and YouTube. So 10 o'clock on Facebook or YouTube, and you can find me at a little at sign, Tim Hague Senior. So that's TimHague. Hague is a little, it's like the Hague over in the Netherlands. So Tim Hague Senior, SR, and you type that into Facebook, you should be able to find me. And then they're
Perfect.
always there after the fact on YouTube and Facebook.
Wonderful. Well, thank you. And then another question we had, for the resources on your website, the exercise videos that you had touched on, are they available to everyone, including individuals living outside of Canada?
Yes, they are available to everyone.
Wonderful.
Where you live, we like to say that we are live and in person, live online, and on demand 24/7. Anywhere you live, around the clock, around the world, you can access our content for free.
Wonderful. We did have a comment in the chat box from Paul, who had said, "Great words, Tim. I appreciate mentioning do whatever exercise you like to do. So often I hear people saying you should do this or do that."
Yeah, no, that's thank you, Paul. I appreciate that, and it's very important to me. And I think that the research will bear it out in time that we have to simply be active. I know there's been lots of research done around cycling, which both Paul and I enjoy cycling. There's been lots of research done around cycling that shows that forced exercise, that extreme exercise, that really push hard exercise is what seems to get the best results. But we know that exercise across the board for all of us is beneficial. And so if that extreme exercise is showing a benefit for Parkinson's, there's an awfully good chance, in my way of thinking at least, to say that anything that you do along that continuum is going to be beneficial to you. And I can't see that I'm in error to suggest that you go exercise to your highest level possible with the thing that you love. I just don't see how that's going to be bad for us. So I encourage you to get out, go, and do what you love to do, regardless of what that is.
Wonderful. All right. Yeah, we do have a number of active programs with Parkinson Association of Alberta if people are looking for ways to find exercise within Alberta. And then if they're not wanting to participate in person, there's definitely a large online catalog between our YouTube channel and your website and your YouTube channel. There's lots of ways to get involved and get active. So if you do need any help connecting or finding some of those resources, you're more than welcome to reach out to your local client services coordinator and we can help get you connected there.
People of Alberta have incredible resources available to them. The first step is you've got to be convinced that you need them, that you need to get active and stay active. And I always encourage people to build a routine for yourself, to put in place a everyday routine of what you're going to do. And so, for me, I do what I call my power stretch. It's a combination of plyometrics, yoga, and whatever. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Tuesday, Thursday, I go to in-person exercise classes at UTurn. And then on Saturdays, I go for a bike ride with some buddies, and that's generally between 20 to 40 clicks. And that's my routine for the week. And I try very hard to stay to that. And so I don't have to get up every day and think about what it is I'm going to do. I just met a gentleman yesterday, first time at one of our in-person classes, who has been doing our 20-minute videos every morning. That's a part of his routine. So build in what works for you, whatever that means at Parkinson's Alberta, and whatever other resources you choose to tap into. But just make sure you give yourself the motivation and the routine to get involved and stay involved.
Yeah, that's wonderful. I know you kind of touched on finding a routine and making it easier to stick with things you've committed to if it's built into your routine. We do have another question come through. Since apathy is a non-motor symptom of Parkinson's, how do you find the motivation to get active and stay active? And if those feelings of apathy start creeping up, how do you overcome that?
There's one thing I am consistent at is inconsistency. And I hate to say that after everything that I've just said. It sounds so contradictory. But the fact is, I struggle like everybody else to stay motivated. Apathy is a huge problem for most of us. A lot of us struggle with emotional issues, if not outright mental health concerns. And it's just tough some days. And I know very well what it's like to get off your schedule, to sit for 2 or 3 days, and you start feeling bad, right? You start feeling really about yourself, both mentally and physically. And the worse you feel physically, the less you want to get up and go. Yet you know that if you do, you will feel better. And I have sat for days fighting, struggling to get myself off the couch. And the biggest thing that helps is to have a wife or a friend who will say, Tim, get up. You got to go. Let's go. And if you don't have someone like that, the biggest thing that helps is having a routine that I know that I'm missing. There are people who are waiting for me to show up, who are depending on me to show up. And I just know that if I will show up, if I will do it, I will feel better. And every single time I feel so much better. It always feels so much better. But I let my yoga go for probably 6 weeks here recently. Why? I don't know. It's crazy. And I felt horrible. I was stiff. I was having a hard time walking. Everything was off. I got back at it. I feel great again. Well, as great as we ever feel, but I feel so much better than what I did before. So you got to build in those resources who will help you and those things that will pull you back.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. I think the relatability in that and having somebody that people can relate to is huge. So I appreciate you sharing that and your sharing of your knowledge and wisdom. And it's definitely been great to have you. And
Thank you.
I don't have any other questions unless there's some last minute ones that are getting popped into the chat box. But yeah, thank you to everybody who was able to join and listen in today. Our webinar series has come to a close for 2021. So you definitely wrapped it up with a great one. If anybody is wanting to catch up on some previous webinars from this year, there's an entire catalog on our YouTube channel and our website, parkinsonassociation.ca. There's lots of watching material to get you through the holiday season until we're back in 2022. Yeah.
Well, thank you again and have a great rest of your day.
Yes, you as well. Thank you so much, and enjoy your holidays, and we'll hopefully see you soon.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.